over 700,000 Ukrainian children relocated to Russia since the war's onset, claims Russian official Maria Elva-Belova. The Russian ombudsperson for children's rights has reported that since the outbreak of the war, over 700,000 Ukrainian children have been moved to Russia. As per her Monday's report, since February 2022, the Russian Federation has welcomed around 4.8 million inhabitants from Ukraine and the Donbas republics, out of which more than 700,000 are children. The report suggests that most of these children have arrived in Russia in the company of their parents or other family members. Elva-Belova, along with Russian President Vladimir Putin, were named in a warrant issued by the International Criminal Court in The Hague in March, which accuses them of the war crime of unlawfully deporting and transferring children during the Russian invasion of Ukraine. The report further detailed that about 1,500 students from orphanages or institutions for those left without parental care have been transported to Russia, with 288 children from the occupied Donetsk region subsequently placed under the guardianship of Russian citizen foster families. The document added that 92 children from the Luhansk People's Republic who were left without parental care were similarly placed in Russian foster homes at the request of the Republic's guardianship authorities. Moscow ramps up its assault on Ukraine in retaliation for drone strikes on Russian territory. Russian Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu has announced on Monday that Russia has significantly escalated its attacks on Ukrainian military facilities in retaliation for drone strikes on its own soil, including those in Moscow on Sunday. During a conference call with the Russian Armed Forces leadership, Shoigu mentioned that they have increased the intensity of attacks on Ukrainian military facilities, including those supporting these terrorist attacks, several times. Shoigu also revealed that additional measures have been implemented to safeguard Russian domestic targets. The defense minister accused Kyiv of carrying out drone attacks to divert attention from its perceived lack of battlefield success, he asserted. Obviously, the Western-supplied weapons do not lead to success on the battlefield, but only prolong the military conflict. Ukraine's drone strikes on Russian territory are desperate actions, claims Russia. Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov characterized Ukraine's attempts to attack Moscow with drones as acts of desperation following several attempts by Kyiv to launch attacks on Russian territory using unmanned aerial vehicles over the weekend. Russia claimed that on Sunday alone, it had successfully downed or intercepted 3 drones over Moscow and another 25 over the Russian-occupied Crimean Peninsula. Shortly after the attempted strike on Moscow, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky asserted that Ukraine was gaining ground on the battlefield and the war was gradually returning to Russian soil. In his routinely scheduled call with journalists on Monday, Peskov likened the drone attacks to terrorist strikes and announced that security measures have been reinforced in the Russian capital to minimize the risk from such attacks.